Kemet versus Black Christianity. Let's talk about it. Personally, I have faith that there was a black Christ that was put on the cross by the Romans, along with a whole lot of other black people during that time period. But that's not what I'm here to discuss. What I wanted to discuss is the part that faith plays and what we think. Now, a lot of times, there's a lot of people that are on the internet, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and you have a lot of black people right now, they're studying Egypt, they're studying Kemet, they're becoming somewhat experts on Egyptology. And Christianity has been whitewashed, so a lot of black people don't recognize the importance of Ethiopia, that Ethiopia is the oldest Christian nation on earth, and don't recognize that the original Christianity was black. It wasn't called Christianity at the time that Christ walked the earth. That's something that it was called afterwards, but a lot of people don't recognize that. And one reason they don't recognize it because they say there's a lack of proof. But according to the stories, if these particular black people were being persecuted by the Romans and the Romans were ruling that area at the time, I don't know what makes people think that the Romans would document this black Christ or document anything about these people. Now, here's the complicated part. Many of the brothers and sisters that study Kemet, that study Egyptology, they will make statements like, they will show a white Jesus Christ and they will not show the Ethiopian Christ, or they will not acknowledge a black Christ or black Christianity. And then they will put up like a picture of Haru, and they will be like Haru, which the Europeans call Horus. They'll put up a picture of Haru, and they'll say Haru is real, and Jesus is false. But now here's the thing. There is no proof that Haru is real. There is no more proof that Haru is real than there is that black Christ is real. You can go to Ethiopia and you'll see pictures of black Christ, and you can go to Kemet or Egypt and you could see statues and pictures of Haru. But let's be clear. The pictures that you see in Egypt / Kemet, those pictures and those statues you see, though they do not prove that there is really a Isis, a Heru, a Mayat. Only thing that's proven when you go to Egypt, or what we call Kemet, the only thing that's proven is that is what the people believed at that time. That's what the hieroglyphics prove. They only prove what the people believed at that time. It does not prove that any of it is real, though. This is where I have an issue. So when you go to Kemet, or you go to what they call Egypt, and you see these statues of these different various gods, you have to believe it through the same faith that a Christian used. You believe in Heru through faith. You have no real solid evidence of Heru or Mayat or Isis or Ptah or any of that. Now, I happen to believe that the people of Kemet got the information from a reliable source. But that is done through my faith. I have the same faith in what I see in Kemet that I have in what I see in Ethiopia. And it is the exact same faith. It is not based on anything solid. You would actually have to meet the Black Christ to have proof. You would actually have to meet Heru to have proof there's a Heru. Other than that, all you have is a statue. You can drive through America from city to city and see all kind of statues. You can see statues of people that used to be black, and they made a white statue. That don't prove that that person was real. That might not even be that person's real race. So those statues in Kemet prove absolutely nothing other than that that's what they believed at the time. But it does not prove it to be fact. Pick your God. Shango, Olademere, Christ, Jehovah, Allah, Krishna. Pick it, Buddha. You have no proof of none of that. There is no proof of not one religion or one spiritual thought pattern on this planet. There is no proof. Everything that you believe is based on faith. Everything. And you're using the same faith that the Christians use for whatever you believe. So how realistic is it for you to say the Christians are just making shit up when you're making shit up? When neither one is more valid than the next? I know, I see it all the time. I see these so-called Kemetic scholars, and they shoot down, the Hebrews. They shoot down black Christianity just as much as white Christianity. And then they'll show me a picture of something that was a picture just like the other picture. It was a statue like the other statue. And then they talk about Heru like it's more real, like they have proof that there really was her Heru. All they have proof of is that that's what the people believed. But they don't have no proof that that shit was real. They have no more proof than any other religion or faith-based ideology. See, that's the bullshit in the game. And I'm Kemetic, I'm a pharaoh, but I'm real with my shit. I'm not no fake-ass motherfucker making shit up as I go. I'm honest about the situation. And I'm aware that we had Coptics and Kemet. When I hear the story of Christ, and I hear that Mary couldn't have her baby in a motel, what they used to call an inn, and she had to go have it in a barn, that's all I needed to know. Ain't nobody made up no story like that. She was black, she had to have a baby in the barn. Duh, would it fucking take a rocket scientist to know that's real? Does it take a rocket scientist to believe that Romans was nailing black people on crosses? You don't believe that Romans was throwing black people in the lion's dens? You don't believe that some European cut a black John the Baptist, cut his motherfucking head off? You don't believe that? I don't know why that's so unbelievable. It's ridiculous. It's just like Bob Marley. If 2,000 years from now, if they make Haile Selassie and Bob Marley white, and then people say, ain't no Bob Marley, ain't no Haile Selassie, then what they've done was change the history and then make you deny the history. Like the Dragon Slayer, St. George. So I find it very ridiculous that people take pictures and statues and try to make one set of pictures and statues be more authentic and more real than the other pictures and statues. Because I'm going to tell you like this. If you look at Kemet, what they call Egypt, if you look at the beginnings of Kemet and what people believed, and what they drew, I come to the conclusion that they had a more idea of what they were saying was real than towards the end of the reign of Kemet, when they were emulating what they were doing at the beginning. The people at the beginning knew what they was doing, but the people at the end was just following what was on the walls and what was written by the people at the beginning. They had less information. In other words, the first person that drew Haru, the first person that drew Anubis and all these gods and Kemet, they had an idea of what was going on. All the people towards the end in those later dynasties, 19th dynasty and shit like that, they didn't know what the fuck they was fucking talking about. They was emulating what they seen that had been passed down for centuries. It was no different than what's going on right now. And by me being Kemetic and me being a pharaoh, I want to get that straight. That the practices and teachings of Kemet are based on faith. The exact same faith that black Christianity is based on. There is no difference. You see a statue and you have faith that this shit was real. Proof you don't have. Don't tell me the statue is proof. The statue is not proof that those things existed. The statues are only proof of what people believed at the time. That's it. That's it. Whatever you believe is based on faith. I don't care what religion or what form of spirituality you got. It's based on faith. If you're doing ancestor worship, that shit's based on faith. Unless you can show me your ancestor, then your shit based on faith. You believe you talking to your ancestors. You ain't motherfucking sure, though. You cannot prove that no more than a person can prove a black Christ. No more than a person can prove Buddha. No more than a person can prove Krishna. They got pictures of Krishna. They got pictures of black Christ. They got pictures and statues of Buddha. They got pictures and statues of Haru. Same shit, different toilet. All of that shit's just pictures and statues. But when it comes to you acknowledging it is real, that is all based on faith. So it's just ridiculous to see all these different religions and ideology battling when they're all basically functioning based on faith. Neither one has a hand up. So it just makes me sick to my stomach when I see Kemetic people trying to act like they see a big-ass statue and now they shit more real than anybody else's shit because some niggas built some big-ass statues. Come on, man. If we was free right now, there'd be big-ass statues of Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent and shit, and people would come later and see them and think they was gods. This is what we used to teach. How people go see history and get it all confused. And find stuff and then fill in the blanks and make up shit. When in reality, we don't know if what they saying is real. Or you put them bones together and made this big dinosaur, but we don't even know if them bones, that might be 3 small dinosaurs, and you went and put them together and made one big one. How the fuck we know? So it's the same thing. All these ideologies are built on faith. All of these stories are passed down through word of mouth. Now, I seen a brother, he's a reputable brother, he said that in Kemet, they wasn't bound in no book. Yes, they were. The walls were the book. See, this is where y'all slow at. The writings on the walls in Kemet was books. That was the first form of books. It's the same shit. That shit ain't no different than the Bible. That shit ain't no different than the Quran. We know when you're on a higher level, you know that history repeats itself. So when I see people pretend that the Black Christ is just a fake imitation of Haru, I know they don't have a higher knowledge, because if Haru is real, what makes people think that Haru wouldn't return in many different forms? Are they sure that the Black Christ wasn't Haru? Are they sure that Samson wasn't Hercules? Are they sure that the pictures in Kemet of Haru are the first time Haru was on this planet? Or are there other statues and pictures that's in the ocean when Atlantis fell that would prove a lot of the shit we saying to be not the beginning? We are not even sure if the knowledge that is found in Egypt, or what we call Kemet, we are not sure that that is the original knowledge, because things have been buried. That's why it's called revelation, because as time goes, things are revealed. Only half the story has ever been told. And us on a higher level, we know that people are only working with 33 1/3 of the knowledge on this planet. There's 66 2/3 worth of knowledge that is not obtainable. There's 33 1/3 of knowledge that we have. There's 33 1/3 of knowledge that's still available to be found on the planet. And there's 33 1/3 of knowledge that is on the mothership and in the cosmos. That's in outer space. And don't look at me crazy when I say outer space, because you're in outer space already. You're on a planet that's flying through outer space. Space is the place. So there's enough information for me to accept Black Christianity. Information like, okay, there was Christ and he had 12 disciples, and the first 2 people that they, what you would call, confirmed as the first 2 Christians outside of Christ and the 12 disciples was 2 Ethiopians. That's very much believable if you look at Ethiopia now. Ethiopia has signs of Kemetic teachings, signs of Hebrew teaching, and signs of Christianity. The Falasha Jews in Ethiopia are not fake. They are real. The rock churches in Ethiopia are not fake. They are real. And we know that Ethiopia is the mother of Kemet, and we know that Ethiopia is the oldest Christian nation on earth. So I'm not like most Kemetic people. I don't deny the black Christ. I don't deny the black Madonna. And it's a damn shame that all the way in the Philippines, they worship the black mother of Christ, while you got Kemetic people that's so slow. They don't acknowledge the sister. When it showed you that when they tried to kill her son, she went to Kemet. She went to Egypt to avoid them killing the Christ. But you want proof. And nobody's going to document you when they're conquering you. So you're not going to get a lot of proof of a lot of things. Certain things are not to be proved. Because really there is no such thing as proof when you talk about historical facts. The only thing that's proof is architectural design and things like that. You can have proof. Oh, I should prove this is what their cups look like. I found the cup. So yeah, this is how they made the cup. Oh, I found pictures. You have proof of what they believed, but you don't have proof that what they believed is true. And people are mixing that up and taking the proof of what they believe and trying to make it like, oh, see what's in Kemet, that's real. And what they do in Ethiopia, Black Christ, that's not real. It's the same pictures. It's just drawn on different formats. You can go to South America, South Central America right now and see a big old statue of a white Jesus. So that's real. So in the future, when people find out that's real, what makes that big old statue of white Jesus any different than them big old statues in Kemet? It's just a fucking statue, and you don't know nothing about the person that built it. You don't know if that shit's real or not. And if you think it's real and you believe it's real, that is a belief, and it's based on faith. You have no fucking evidence. None. That motherfucking shit in Egypt is no evidence that that shit is real. That's not evidence. Because there is no way of proving the existence of gods. Only the gods can come and prove their existence in person. You can't prove it. You can't prove there's a Buddha. You can't prove there's a Krishna. You can't prove there's a Haru. Only Haru can prove there's a Haru. Only Jehovah can prove there's a Jehovah. Only Allah can prove there's an Allah. Man, and you mere mortals, you cannot prove that. The only thing you can prove is your own existence. Let's be clear on that. So I'm going to end this by saying much respect to the Coptics, the black Coptics in Egypt. Much respect to the Falasha Jews that are in Ethiopia. Much respect to all the Rastafari brethren and sisters around the world. Much respect to the African Hebrew Israelites. Much respect to all the Kemetic brothers and sisters out here in the world. And much respect to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. And like I always say, there's a lot of things you could do out here. But the most important thing you could do is to do you. One.